Donald Trump, the incumbent president of the United States, and Russia's President Vladimir Putin met in Alaska for what was described as a high-stakes summit on the ongoing war in Ukraine. Both leaders emerged from the talks saying they had made great progress, though they avoided presenting any concrete agreement. Well, Trump described the discussions as frank and constructive, while Putin stressed that both sides had agreed on many points. However, neither leader proved and provided specifics on what those points were, leaving analysts and allies uncertain about what concessions or commitments might have been discussed behind closed doors. The cautious language, no deal until there is a deal, mirrored earlier high-level diplomatic encounters during past conflicts where symbolic progress was presented without binding agreements. For Trump, this summit was seen as a major test of his foreign policy credibility, especially with European allies watching closely for signs of the United States' commitment to Ukraine. The lack of detail left open speculations about the scope of discussions, whether they centered on ceasefire terms, future borders, or Ukraine's potential neutrality. Well, in a notable reversal of his earlier stance, Trump signaled that he now favors a comprehensive peace deal over a temporary ceasefire as the way to end the war. Previously, Trump had floated the idea of a ceasefire as an immediate path to halting hostilities. But after extensive talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and consultations with European leaders, he shifted his position. The Alaska summit appears to have shaped this new approach, and Trump stressed that a ceasefire would merely freeze the conflict without addressing the root causes, potentially locking in Russia's territorial gain. Instead, he now argues that a peace agreement must be negotiated, one that sets clear political and territorial terms, and ideally brings lasting stability. Now, this shift aligns more closely with Kyiv's insistence that any resolution must go beyond a pause in fighting. For Ukraine, the danger of a ceasefire lies in giving Russia time to regroup militarily while holding on to occupied areas. Trump's new framing suggests a more ambitious but also more complex path forward, one that will demand sustained diplomatic engagement and assurances to all parties involved.